Video game. When we talk about video game, most of us think about children. That's right, 90% of children play video game. But let's be honest, when the kids are in the bed, who is in front of the PlayStation? In fact, the average age of gamers is 33 years old, not 8 years old. And also when we look at the demographic graphs of the playing game age, we can see that future gamers are our grandparents. Video gaming is growing and it's coming to our society and is clearly here to stay. And we all know it can have an amazing impact in our brain and in our society and our social life. Not very long time ago, football was one of the most enjoyable, exciting game to play and to watch. Until very recently, I heard there are some tournaments related to FIFA game. It was a little bit hard for me to digest it. That's why I decided to have a visit to one of the football clubs in Denmark and talk to the person who used to be a football player and now she's dealing with the e-players who are playing FIFA game. Join me for this trip.
My name is Khalida Popal. I'm former captain of Afghanistan women's national team and former director of Afghanistan women's football. Been in this industry for almost 17 years now.
Mm-hmm. So you said you have been playing football. How many years have you played football?
I have played myself for 7 years, and then I also worked in football.
Tell me something. What do you feel when you're in a football pitch and you're playing football, when you are actually kicking the ball?
I feel enjoyment, I feel like excitement, the love for the game, and I feel the ball.
Downstairs I noticed there are some machines and TVs and it's a little bit out of my knowledge, but I can see some of the teenagers and the young generation that are playing with the computer. And it's something like playing football also. Do you know anything about that part of the...
Yes, actually we started to establish the e-sport in the club. So it's part of the club now. We have women's football in first league, and then we have men's football that they are playing in first league, and then we have e-Superliga, which is a sports like electronic sport game.
Okay, electronic.
Yeah, which is more digital, and we have also e-players. They call it e-players. So we have also professional e-players that the club bought recently.
How serious is that? You said like the club bought a league. What is that?
I actually, before that, I was not taking that serious, but now in a sport industry, especially in football industry, the number of viewers that they watch the e-games and the e-Superliga game is more than the actual number of people who watch the actual football game. It's becoming popular.
That means there are some people actually watching people who are playing on the computer.
Yeah.
What is that? What is the benefit of it? Why?
I think like digitalization or the world becoming more digital, and people are like the interest of people, especially the new generation, is actually changing, and the demand of the market is changing.
So do you think this club, FCN Nordsjælland, in future will lead to the e-playing, so they are going to produce more e-players than actual players, or what is the future? What do you think about it?
I think we'll still the club and also the entire industry. There will be a need of, like, for example, the actual physical game. It will have their own audience, but then the audience will be divided into groups. It will be e-players, fans that they like e-sport, and then the actual fans that they would like to come in the stadium. But somehow I have the fear that e-games or e-sports will take over, and we will really struggle. Right now we are struggling in Denmark to get fans to come and watch the games. Or maybe, what else I was thinking about, maybe somehow the world of sport, the actual physical game on the pitch will be digitalized in terms of equipment, in terms of, like, football boots. Maybe it will be digitalized somehow to speed up.
Wow, very interesting.
Kind of, I think it will develop a lot.
You, as an actual football club, you decided, instead of like fighting against of e-players, actually go through them and be with them, and you go just part of it. Is anything beside business you actually trying to accept the e-players as well, or no?
I think it's the demand of the market.
Okay.
The market right now, our customer now wants more of just physical, and e-sport is a new product for the club. And if, for example, by introducing this part and like launching this part, we will earn a lot. So why should we cut it and instead, like, get benefit out of it? And so there is a demand.
Good then. So let's conclude it here. The future of football will be e-players. Hopefully not, but that's how it shows now. Thank you so much, Khalida, and hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye. What I noticed from Khalida, still the enjoyment of the real and standard game of football is there. And somehow, she's forced to deal with e-players just because of the demand of the market. But I'm not convinced. How about those real actual football players who are playing right now? How do they feel? And how do they enjoy the game? Are they going to switch to e-player soon? One day? Just because of the demand of the market? That's why I decided to talk to one of the football players who is playing right now. Join me for this interview.
My name is Hannah, and I'm 22 years old. Yeah, 22 years old. Yeah. I live here in Lund, and I play football on my free time, and I study mostly.
So why do you play football?
Because I love the game, and I like the exercise that it gives you, because it's so much fun and you don't really think about that you're running, which I like a lot, because I don't I like running just distances as well, but I prefer running when playing football.
Have you heard about computer FIFA game?
Yeah, I have.
Have you played?
Maybe 3 times.
What do you feel about it?
I think it's fun. You can definitely learn a lot from it.
Okay.
But I don't play myself because it's too complicated for me. I don't have the coordination to play on a console.
You mentioned you can learn from it. In what purpose? In like a technique purpose or what?
Yeah, partly that, but also combinations on how you're, for example, playing. If you have to throw in the ball, if it's been out, you can learn how to do that better. So FIFA.
You mean a computer can visualize the situation which you couldn't figure it out in actual game?
You can.
What do you feel about those people who never played the real football, but they have been e-players, and they are more famous than some of the normal players? What do you feel about them?
First of all, I don't think everyone can play. So I think there are substitutes, because there can still be people who love the sport, but they are not able to play because of injuries, knee injuries, for example. But I think it's kind of weird that some of the largest teams in Sweden have an e-sport team as well.
I heard from Hannah. She used computer game to learn something, maybe to have a better strategy for her actual game. That was perfect too. But I would like to know what the real e-player feel and what is the enjoyment behind it. Where this standard and this business is great. That's why I talked to another e-players, and I will invite you to listen to our conversation.
So I'm 24,
Yeah?
live in Lund, born and raised in Lund, and I like playing video games.
Okay,
And
I heard you're actually kind of professional video player.
Yeah.
What kind of game do you play?
So do you know FIFA?
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the only game I play a lot of games, but FIFA I'm really good at because I've spent a lot of hours.
How
So
often? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was my second question. How often do you play? How many hours?
right now, not so much, but usually probably like hours a day maybe.
Are you a member of any league or somewhere?
Yeah, I am.
And
I don't spend as much time playing real football as
so
I
do you play
FIFA.
the real football,
Yeah,
standard football?
I've done
also?
all my life as well.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what is the difference? So when you are in the football pitch and you are actually kicking a ball, so and then you just play the football on the computer games. What are the
I
differences?
mean, the main difference, besides not doing any physical work at all, is that when I'm playing real football, I'm playing in a group. I'm playing in a team. So
Mhm.
I'm dependent on other players. But playing FIFA is just me, and I'm doing my own work, and I have no one to answer to. So
Tell me and answer me in an honest way. Which one of them actually make you more satisfied? Which one you enjoy most?
I'd have to say, it's real football, of course.
Actual
Yeah,
standard
it's
football.
actual football, because I mean, some moments there are just amazing, and you can't just put them into a video game.
It's like how is the future? The future of our sport, not specifically in football. Are we moving? Our new generation are more interested in the e-player.
I think it depends on which sport it is, but I don't consider esports to be an actual sport. I don't. I know in some countries it's an official sport.
Mhm.
I know it is. And esports is in its beginning phase. I mean, it has just begun, and the audience is already massive, and it's growing all the time. So I think it's gonna keep growing, and of course, like audience-wise, they're gonna outgrow some sports, and naturally that's gonna take attention from the real sports, and businesses and sponsors will begin to invest in esports.
So why do you think we are moving that side? 10 years ago it was not that famous as how it is now. Why? Is it like because of the football, because of the game become more interactive, or?
When you're playing games, you can be an American citizen and you can play against like a Chinese. That wouldn't be possible in the real
Actual.
football at a lower level. And there's also a bigger possibility that you're able to play against like pros. You're much closer to a professional level and making money in esports than you are in real football.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you couldn't just walk out to a football field and start playing Cristiano Ronaldo, but you would be able to play some of the best players in, let's say, FIFA.
Perfect point. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Arma, for your time.
Thank you.
So, which one is better? Stay home, behind your computer, and play computer game, or go out, have fun, and play football in a real football pitch? This question reminds me the topic around the coffee. We have heard enough of advantage and disadvantage of coffee, but what I believe, the right amount of everything, it's a solution.